Hey Psych2Goers, and welcome back to another video. Thank you all so much for the love and support that you've given us, enabling us to make yet another exploration into everyday psychology. So let's continue. Have you ever had one of those days when you just can't make anything work? You wake up late and this sets a shadow on the rest of your day. Everyone has days like that. But what if you can't get out of your own way, no matter how hard you try? If you find that most of your days are one of those days, you're probably sabotaging yourself. Wrecking your own potential success is not just a harmless byproduct of low self-esteem. Self-sabotage can take a huge toll on your relationships, health, finances, and career. So let's take a look at 7 major signs of self-sabotage. Number 1, you're too hard on yourself. Are you constantly putting yourself down or picking apart everything you do? Are you able to let your mistakes go, or do you replay everything you did wrong? If any of this sounds familiar, you could be sabotaging yourself by being too perfectionistic. Self-oriented perfectionism, or the belief that you need to be perfect no matter what, often leaves the person feeling like they'll never be good enough. This is because the end goal of perfection is often unrealistic. Not surprisingly, constantly feeling as though you don't measure up leads to lower self-esteem and higher feelings of failure. Your fear of making mistakes paralyzes you from taking any productive step ahead. Being overly self-critical can also hurt your mental health, resulting in feelings of loneliness and helplessness, anxiety, and depression. 2, you're quick to point out the negative. Do you go out of your way to pick a situation apart until you find all the flaws? Are you surprised when your plans work out well? If this sounds familiar, you could be sabotaging your relationships with your pessimistic outlook. Pessimism doesn't just sabotage your goals and your relationships, but it can also be bad for your health. A study by Pankalainen found that people who describe themselves as pessimistic were 2.2 times more likely to die of coronary heart disease than the more neutral or optimistic participants. Number 3, you wait until the last minute. Do you usually wait until the night before to write a paper? Can you relate to waiting until the week before a holiday to make preparations? Procrastination, or putting off a task until the 11th hour, is easy to do if you're feeling overwhelmed, tired, mentally drained, or just plain lazy. Avoiding a task because you just don't feel into it is normal from time to time. However, giving into that meh feeling on a regular basis can hold you back in many areas of your life. You end up being dissatisfied with everything you do, be it school or work. Research shows people who describe themselves as regular procrastinators report higher levels of stress and anxiety. They also are more prone to depression. 4, you're disorganized. What happens when chaos is your normal? Are you constantly being late or missing deadlines? If you feel like your life is all over the place, you might be sabotaging yourself in several ways. This lowers your self-esteem. Also, you lose things that you actually want and need. The out-of-control feeling that comes with being disorganized can lead to emotional eating too, and increases feelings of depression and hopelessness. Research shows too much disorganization and clutter can make people feel stressed and uncomfortable. People who describe their homes as cluttered tended to have higher levels of the stress hormone, cortisol. High levels of cortisol over time have been linked to health conditions such as inflammation and high blood sugar. Number 5, you feel like a phony. Are you a pro at doubting yourself and your abilities? You find it hard to give yourself credit for your own successes. If so, these point towards imposter syndrome. Feeling like a phony can lead to some serious self-sabotage. For example, you don't try for jobs, promotions, roles, or relationships you want, or you don't reach out to others because you often feel as if nobody wants to hear what you have to say. You don't honor your own boundaries or speak up for yourself when others treat you badly, often playing it small because you feel like others are just putting up with you. 6, you overdo it. It turns out constantly doing and being extra can take a toll on your mental health. Overcommitments lead to self-sabotage in a variety of ways. For example, taking on too much leads to not being able to finish everything you start. The feelings of guilt and obligation associated with overcommitment make it difficult to speak up for yourself or set healthy boundaries. Overcommitment sets you up to constantly put yourself last, which just makes stress worse. Overcommitment leaves you open to constantly being asked to do just one more thing, give just a little more. And number 7, you're burnt out. Have you been a little forgetful lately? Maybe you've been making more mistakes than usual at work. Living in a constant state of stress and exhaustion can lead to what psychiatrists call burnout. Burnout feels like constantly trudging through wet concrete or trying to drive a car with no oil. The constant stress and exhaustion from burnout can lead to some serious self-sabotage, like mental and physical illnesses, relationship troubles, and even hurt your finances. The dread even gets physical. Do you get headaches on the way to physics class or your job? The headaches, stomach aches, indigestion, or weird physical symptoms you're feeling, they might be telling you to pump the brakes and think about how much effort you're putting into this. Most of you can probably relate to most things on this list from time to time. These are all normal thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. However, if you think anything on this list describes you most of the time, you owe it to yourself to think about what might be contributing to you getting in your own way. Just know that no matter how you choose to deal with self-sabotage, you're worth the effort. We hope we were able to give you a little insight into some of the signs you might be self-sabotaging. Do any of these apply to you? They definitely apply to me. Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.